What is the crack, everyone, and welcome back to another video. And today's a very special one because we're going to be discussing the long-awaited climactic release from the band Distant called Aeons of Oblivion. That's right, you saw it coming, we all saw it coming. The year-long wait, and now it's finally here. The end to the series of releases that started with Dawn of Corruption back in 2020. Some of you might think Tyrantopia was actually the start of this whole thing back in 2019, and I can semi-agree with you. But in reality, the Dawn of Corruption series started last year, and my god, what a series it has been. Not gonna lie, I kind of feel like I did at the end of like Breaking Bad or at the end of Game of Thrones, except not as tragic as Game of Thrones. In that you feel like you've been with this series for longer than it actually has been, and you've sort of grown. Things have happened. People have gone away. New people have come into your life. I mean, it's been the pandemic, so most likely that stuff hasn't really happened much. But anyway, here we are to discuss it. So just before I start, I just want to say that I will not be discussing the tracks that were featured on the previous releases because I've got 2 reviews completely dedicated to talking about those already. So if you want to hear my thoughts on those tracks, go check out those 2 reviews. That's why they're there. But anyway, to kick off this final review for this series, I have to talk about the title track, Aeons of Oblivion, which in my opinion was my favorite track off the new set that we got. It was heavy, it was brutal, it hit me hard in the face and in the gut, and it had Adam Warren on it from Oceano. I was really surprised because I haven't heard anything from Oceano or Adam in so long, at least vocally. So the fact that even now his vocals are still just as on point as ever is just like, damn, this guy knows how to sing. He knows his shit. And his performance here is absolutely brutal. He's heavy, he's aggressive, he's monstrous, and he fits so well with the theme and the vibe that they're portraying here. And the other key thing about this album is, of course, the Ritual series that was sort of like inside this album. And it kicked off with this track, which I can't pronounce the name for, so I'll write it here. That was this really nice sort of chill interlude, acoustic almost, ambient thing that, not gonna lie, I really loved it. I think I liked it way too much because this album never really drops the ball. It's always 110% from start to finish. So having something like this moment of calm, it's shocking. That's what dynamics are meant to do. They're shocking. And it shocked me in a way, but it got me really emotional. It got me really invested in everything that was happening. So I really enjoyed it. And it leads into the next following tracks, which you've probably heard these tracks before because some of them were featured on previous EPs, and we got some new ones as well, like Vermilion River, which I did do a reaction for. Go check that one out as well. But overall, a really cool thing that had a lot of variation, a lot of dynamic moments in it. The only thing I can say is I kind of wish that maybe for this final release, they could have made the transitions a bit more distinct between these tracks, so it felt more like one whole track instead of all these individual segments. I don't know, that's just me. I thought it might have been cool, but I'm still happy with what I got. And finally, the other big thing about this album is we actually got a remix and remaster of Argon Debt. Now, for some of you, this might be the actual first track to lead us into this series. And when it came out, I was disappointed, mainly because of the mix. I thought the mix was scooped, which was a shame because writing-wise, it was great. It had 5 disgusting sounding vocalists, and overall it was a fun time, except the mix just for me let it down. So the fact that we actually got a remix and remaster by Simon from Divergent Studio, who is the guy who mixed everything up until this point for them, it is a godsend. And I love the track now. I think it sounds as good as ever, and I don't think it can be beat at this point. Some lesser things to talk about is the fact that they actually changed the orientation of the track list. Pretty much you're experiencing a lot of these tracks that you've probably heard before in a different light. And what's really cool about it is the fact that it kind of conveys a different image. And I didn't realize this, but some of these tracks flow so much better from one to the next with this track listing, almost like it was always meant to be done this way. But then for the 2 other releases, they changed around, just to give something. But no, I really enjoyed the track listing the way it was done this time. It was solid. It made, for some reason, more sense, and it also made the listening experience more enjoyable, where for almost an hour-long album, it didn't feel long at all. It felt really well paced. So props to them for doing that. I really liked it as well. And now to talk about something that's a bit uncommon when it comes to bands of this sort, and that is sort of the exterior stuff they did alongside this album. And of course, the main one is, of course, the fact that with this album, they made a book. That's right, a book. Who does that? Well, this band does. And it is a short 176-page book about the lore and concept behind this series of albums that we got. Which, damn, that definitely is deserving of some brownie points. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a copy of the book because I'm still waiting on my pre-order to arrive. So hopefully by the time you see this video, I hopefully would have got it. And maybe I'll do some kind of book review if you guys are into that. Write down below if you'd be interested in seeing something like that. But until then, I will wait with bated breath. But overall, what to say? This was an epic journey of epic proportion from start to finish. I thought it was just going to be a once-off EP back last year when it was just Dawn of Corruption. I had no idea there'd be a second one, and then I had no idea there'd be this big third one that came with all these bells and whistles attached to it. It's more than just a listening experience now. Well, of course, because there's a book to go with it. It's a reading experience as much as that. So it makes your imaginative side flourish as well. And in all honesty, not many bands do this, and the fact that they did this, it's outstanding. And not gonna lie, I think this is the first deathcore album that has come out this year that I can genuinely say can compete with Lifeblood by Brand of Sacrifice. Without question, this is now the title bout when it comes to like who's gonna be the deathcore album of the year. So I'm looking forward to deciding who's gonna get that title later. And with that, also write down below, who do you think is better, the Distant album or the Brand of Sacrifice? Now, with all that being said, I'm gonna rate this a solid 9 out of 10 from me. Great experience, great album. Yeah, we'll see who's gonna be the best at the end of the year. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Write down below, what did you think about this album? And also write down below, what was your favorite track off the album? And with all that being said, if you enjoyed this review, give it a like and subscribe to keep updated on all the content on this channel. Without needing to say anything else, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.